You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Glenn the Geek, founder of the Horse Radio Network and host of Horses in the Morning, the daily podcast for the horse world for the last 16 years. Welcome to the WESA Retail Roundup. Retail Roundup is your go-to virtual hub for all things retail. We have panel discussions, webinars. We have sessions like we're having today with Chris. We have all kinds of things. We have a Facebook group, too. Search for Retail Roundup in Facebook and join that group. That's where we put all the announcements of what's coming up and video versions and all of that stuff. This is being put out two ways, on video and also on audio on your favorite podcast players. Look for the Wisdom by WESA podcast. In today's conversation, we're discussing the battle for attention in today's digital world, from shrinking attention spans and misleading social media metrics to what actually makes customers stop, trust, and engage with a brand. Today's guest is Chris Johnston. He's a videographer and creative storyteller behind Truthful Studio. And you might have seen him floating around WESA since 2019. He's been the official videographer since that time. And he served as a producer and cinematographer on projects including HBO documentary Class Action Park. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Glenn. Thank you so much for having me.
You're not used to being on this side of the camera, are you?
No, I am sweating profusely. I don't know what I'm going to do with my hands.
Everything you advise your people on the other side to do. Just relax. It's all good.
Blow in the bag.
That's funny. One of my hosts is doing a movie this week. Her books got picked up as a movie, a major production. And we're heading up to Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm going to be an extra in a movie this week. So I'll be on the other side, too, this week.
Congratulations. That's fun.
It's just fun for her. I mean, she said there's 70 people on set, so this is a major production.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're so excited for her. She's been a host of ours for 10 years, and now she gets this movie deal. So we're very excited to see how it all works and what's going on up there in Lexington this week. So speaking of that, you've been to WESA a lot of times, and you've been doing video there. And, you know, everybody worries about their booth setup and what happens at WESA. What should people be changing how they set up their booths from the past, when they were just worried about the person walking in front of them, to now there's a lot more video being done by themselves and others at WESA, like me. I do video at WESA too, you know, just for my social media channels. Should they be thinking about their booths in that term, in addition to catching the attention of people walking by?
That's a good question. And, you know, one thing that I think most WESA manufacturers should know is, before you go to WESA, get in touch with your contact lists and make sure they know, you know, like a month out, hey, we're going to be at WESA, we're going to be at booth so-and-so, we're going to be showcasing these items. We want to help you in so many different ways. So I think it's the reach before the trade show that is most important for manufacturers or people that have booths. On the retailer side, it's making a plan. How many times how many manufacturers are at WESA? There are a lot. And so making a plan and having budget some time for yourself to wander, because there's so many great. Every year, I interview most, anyone from 10 years and older that have been around WESA or more. But from time to time, I interview somebody that's been their second time as a manufacturer. And I'm blown away with their ingenuity or their uniqueness, or they found a way to do something really interesting with leathers that I've never seen before. So when I go to trade shows in general, I'm always gravitating to those new up-and-coming new people, because they are the ones that are maybe pushing the needle on a trend, or pushing the needle on like the perceived what am I trying to say? Whatever the going knowledge is, those people are pushing the envelope on what our assumptions are. So I love the new, and I love the the legends that have been at WESA for many years. It's just such a fun mix.
You use the word digital scout.
Yes.
What's a digital scout?
Yeah. I'm going to back up a little bit, but for retailers, your customer most likely gives you a handshake like, hey, I'm looking for this, and oh, you could provide that to me. Great, let's talk next week, and a handshake happens. And the digital scout, now in the Western world, the handshake is still king. But what I tell my customers a lot, for the past 5 or 6 years, when we post something on social media, it's not to break somebody's thumb, meaning people are going through their streams, and we are not going to break their thumbs to get our message across. So our goal is to go produce posts for the tomorrow potential client or the tomorrow potential customer. That's where the digital scout comes into play. So let's say that what a digital scout in my mind is, every ranch has a tech-savvy son or daughter who rides ahead with their phone, wherever my phone is, rides ahead with their phone, and they're grabbing, dad might be the trail boss, and they make a handshake deal with the guy that does fencing. And so dad says, oh, hey, I'm going to work with so-and-so, or maybe I'm buying a bunch of shirts for all my workers. And so I'm talking to Bob's Western Wears, and I just did a handshake with these guys, or I just met with these guys. Now the digital scout, the son or daughter, goes on to their Instagram, Bob's or Bill's Western Wears Instagram, and they're verifying, like, what has happened there, and what have they done lately for them, or what are they for, or are they alive? When's the last time they posted on Instagram, or when the last time they posted on LinkedIn? That's what they're looking for. So that insurance is, you've posted something on your social platform, and the young tech savvy son or daughter or worker is verifying that handshake is validated, that, yeah, hey, they're an actual business.
You talked about, back to your first comment today, about preparing people on the manufacturer side for when they're going to WESA. Mm-hmm. I think what happens with a lot of them when they get there is they forget, they're focused so much on the retailers, they forget that a lot of their customers aren't there. So they've set them up. They said, I'm going to be setting up this booth. And then when they get there, they forget to post while they're there for the people who are at home, their customers who didn't come, right?
Yeah.
One of the things we found, and we had so much success with, and I think this is going to be, the next one will be my 39th or something crazy trade show.
Congratulations.
Our listeners, and we've verified this through polls, love hearing about new products before they hit the store.
Yes.
As a manufacturer, you're making the new product. And yet, a lot of times, you're afraid to tell your customers about it before it hits the store. Yet, publishers will talk about books or movies months before it hits the store, right? Or months before you can buy it or watch it. I don't know why manufacturers aren't better about teasing their own products that are coming up, even though they're not available yet. I don't know.
That's a great point. Since I'm in the film industry, I go to National Association of Broadcasters, and I work on DaVinci Resolve, which is a nonlinear or an editing software, and color grading and such. And they released a week before an hour-and-a-half video on all their up-and-coming updates to the software, but all the updates that they've done to all their peripherals, their cameras, their capture boxes, everything. So I think they did exactly what you talked about. Another thing that you might want, one thing that popped in my head when when you just mentioned manufacturers at the booth is, as a manufacturer, you're going to hear some stories from your retailers of some great stories. That's your content. Manufacturers are there for retailers. They need to get the word out. And so if you talk to a retailer and they have a fun story that you can quickly, get a picture of them, do a selfie or whatever and say, hey, Bill here has a Western wear on Main Street in Idaho, whatever it is. Just get that photo and just write one quick sentence saying, hey, we are so thankful that so-and-so from Western Wear came down by our booth and, manufacturers are for the retailers because they are the connection to the customer. So and if I might take one more step further for the retailers, because we have, sorry, I want to stop for a second, but keep recording here. Sorry. A little more context. One of the things that I love about WESA is that I don't even know WESA's mission statement, but I've been working for them long enough to know that WESA is for retailers and manufacturers coming together. So everything they do is to help that handshake between the manufacturers and retailers, whatever it is. And if you've looked on all the stuff that Sophia posts on across all platforms, you'll see that WESA is lifting up the retailer, lifting up the manufacturer, and helping that connection, that handshake, that opportunity. And retailers, you need to have your for. What are you for? Retailers, you are for your small town. You are building the community. Like instead of, like in his book, a lot of people, a lot of retailers are just walking into a bar with a megaphone and they're jumping on a table and screaming 20% off denim. So two things are going to happen. One is the people are going to laugh at you and go, what's up with Bob? The second thing is you're going to get kicked out of the bar. Now, what does that look like on social media when you yell 20% off on denim on social media? Well, you're going to get no comments and you're going to get a couple of guilt likes. I'm probably just quoting this now, but the guilt like is like, oh, I've been friends with Bill for 20 years. I'll just like him. Like it. No comment. But that's a monologuing. For a lot of us, we grew up in the age of television, radio, billboards, and so on. And that's a one-directional communication. And when Facebook and Twitter came about, Facebook and Twitter allowed us to dialogue with each other. And in Jeff Henderson's book, he's talking about 99% of all businesses are still monologuing their audience on a platform that's built for dialogue. So when I'm talking to retailers and manufacturers, but retailers have the edge here. Retailers, you have an opportunity to build the community, build your community, where if somebody comes into town and say, hey, what's going on? Oh, you got to go to Western Wear on Main Street's Facebook page, or you got to go over to their shop after you get a coffee at Sally's Coffee Shop. Go over there and find out what's going on the events. That's where you build your community, and you're doing it out of love for the community you're in. And that's where it really works. And so now you're building a dialogue. So what does that look like in a post? Instead of 20% off denim, it's, hey, by the way, Rancho High School, our town high school, is having a rodeo. Make sure you attend. That's one post. You're not talking about anything in your retail store. You are sharing, you are uplifting others.
I love that you brought up community because, as you know, that's one of my keywords in surviving social media today is building community. Stores to survive, magazines to survive, whatever the entity is, it's all about community. I think that's one thing that we've done pretty well on the podcast side from the beginning because that's what we had to rely on to get the word out because nobody knew what the heck one was or how to listen to it, right? So we had to start there. I think a perfect example of that is Tampa Airport. Has the best social media, period. It's a really good airport, but everybody knows it for its huge 20-foot flamingo and its social media because they're funny and they're entertaining and they're hilarious. And 99% of the posts are not about what airplanes are flying out of there today. It's about building a community that wants to go to the airport just to see the flamingo, right? I mean, it's just, and I think some of these stores they have such a personality inside the store. The people working there have a personality, yet their social media falls flat. You know, they come for the content, in your case, to buy stuff, but they stay because they like you. We have a saying in podcasting, they come for the content, stay for the host. It's the same in retail. It's the same in manufacturing. It's all about you. And I know that's hard to accept for a lot of people because they think it's about the product and what we built and all of this. The only reason people are not buying online right now and buying from you in a store is because they like you. And you got to get over that one quick or you won't be in business in 5 years. You have to accept the fact that it's like you and you have to get your personality into your social media. Am I wrong about any of that?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about the community. And if I could give your retailers and manufacturers an anthem, it is Toby Keith's I Want to Talk About Me. It's the actual greatest.
Do you know how hard that is, especially on the Western side, for your people to do that? That's changing everything you've been brought up to do, right?
Yeah, and so it's let's talk about me, let's talk about mine, let's talk about all that stuff. You know, I'm trying to sing it. I'm really bad at it, but the idea is Toby Keith. I'm changing the idea is the audience. Because the me is the customer talking to your business. So I don't want to talk about everything about your store. I want you to talk about what's happening in my community. I want to talk. I want to hear how cool the parade was that the middle school down the street, you know, put together. And I want to see my kid in that shot, you know, kind of thing. That's what moves the needle.
Yeah, you basically have to make them want to care, too. I mean,
Yeah.
You really make them have to want to care. They have to feel something. And I think so many times, you know, we went to the mall yesterday. I didn't feel much shopping at the mall, right?
Yeah.
Because the stores are fairly sterile and, you know, you've seen it before. So when they walk into your store, they have to feel something. When they come to your social media on your Instagram page or your Facebook or whatever, they have to feel something. And we make them laugh, cry, you know, any of those emotions creates a response and keeps them around just a few seconds longer, which that leads us into the next topic. You got how many minutes now on a video and social media to catch? I mean, you have, what, 3 seconds, basically, to catch 5 seconds to catch their attention. Once you've caught their attention and their thumb doesn't scroll, now you've got a minute, most. And they're going to hang around longer than a minute as long as they found that first minute engaging or funny or entertaining or invoked some emotion.
But I still think that's a low probability in today's market. And I apologize. I mean, as much as I want to think that is possible, it's really about that handshake between, you know, like, hey, this is who we are. This is why we're here. But if you could change like that 1 or 2 seconds and it's about the community you're in, boom. Now you're going to get that follow, which you're looking for that engagement. Like, for instance, social media has changed dramatically over the last couple of years. The platforms have changed. For instance, I have a client that we would produce a high engaging, very contagious video, like a 60 to 90 second video. We would post it. And this was like 2 years when they had 3,000 followers. We would post it. And within 1 minute, not even as long as the 90-second video we created, we would have 500 likes on it. And I'm like, this is not logical. And then scoot ahead 2 years forward, we're producing something very similar or still engaging, but a different topic. And we post it and we're lucky to get 15 likes in 10 minutes. So we know the social platforms are messing with the algorithms and everything. Another thing is, I think AI is another piece of the puzzle. Why our audiences are so passive, and there is so much AI junk being created and pushed onto the platforms that we are just zombies now, just scrolling. Like if we see an ad, or if anybody sees an ad, it's just like boop. And so the view, in my opinion, the view is no longer a metric for success. I'll give you one more example. My documentary, All Saints, the Journey of Orthodoxy in Bloomington, Indiana, had a really good film festival run. And what was interesting is I started boosting those ads in March 2024, and the social platforms were saying, oh, what would you like? Engagement, comments, meaning comments, likes, and views and follows. Well, I wanted them all. And then I went on. But by the end of my film festival run, I was not even allowed to choose that. I'm getting views and that's it. And what is a view today? A view is 1 to 3 seconds, like you said, Glenn. And well, that's not even enough for awareness. So what are we paying for when we're boosting an ad? I think one of your, I want to say, I think it was Molly at Firespark, if I recall correctly, a couple of episodes ago.
Okay.
She had, was it Molly?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll think about who it was.
Yeah, Firespark marketing ad. One of the things that she said that I was like, oh my gosh, yes, she's right. She mentioned like a lot of us small business owners have a client contact list or a newsletter email list. So if we could put those into Facebook and retarget, I believe is the term she used, that's awesome. And I can't tell you as a small business owner how much money I've blown because I did not know what I was doing, just like the other marketers on your podcast. But I did find a really close friend of mine, Sam Seeger. She was able to right my ship and we were able to get a bunch of followers. But the idea behind knowing what you're doing on boosting is so important. And I almost want to hire those people. I do hire those people because I can't do it by myself. But what we can do by ourselves is, let's say a retailer has a part-timer that works 20 hours a week and 15 hours of his or her time is on the floor helping customers, and maybe the other 5 hours is creating content. What I'm sharing with you guys today is not to add to your social media employment or whatever it is reallocating. So instead of posting like 3 posts a day, 5 days a week or so, I'm saying post maybe once every day or so and put all that energy into dialoguing, because the dialoguing is going to be the building of a community. And come into the store and, it could be as simple as you're walking as a retailer, you're walking and you meet somebody new and comment about their boots and say, hey, why don't you come on by and I'll polish your boots and give you a sample for free. Just simple conversations, handshake, boom. Now you have a potential customer for life. Sorry, I kind of went a little far off.
That's okay. That's why you're here.
Yeah, I'm Tangent City, so put me on like some kind of railroad, and I'll just go boom, boom, boom. We'll get somewhere.
You actually did just lead into the next conversation. So in today's world, what types of videos actually do drive engagement? And we used to look at metrics too. We used to look at downloads in podcasting, and I always told potential sponsors, I don't care about downloads. I don't care if I have 1 million downloads. If nobody's going to buy your product, you have accomplished nothing by advertising with me. If we have 5,000 downloads and 60% of those people are going to buy your product because of what we talk about, that's what counts. That's what we're looking at, is what kind of engagement do you get with the download. It doesn't matter how many downloads we had. What kind of engagement are you getting? And I think that's true even more so now with the clutter that's out there, with the number of videos, with AI, as you mentioned, but just more and more people creating content. And I do tell people, too, I say, when you're scrolling through Instagram with your thumb, when you're thumbing through Instagram, and you stop at certain things and watch them, and then you keep going, and you stop at certain things and watch them, you never think to yourself, why did I stop? What caught my attention to stop? So tonight, when you're sitting there scrolling in bed when you should be sleeping, after you've stopped on a couple of them, think to yourself, why did I stop at that one? What was it about that video that caused me to stop? When you start analyzing your own habits, you're going to also see everybody else does the same thing, right? They may stop for a little bit different reason, but we all stop for similar reasons. Yeah. And that's what you have to start analyzing. It's the same thing I've always done in podcasting is I listen to a ton of podcasts, whether I'm interested in the topic or not. What catches my attention in those first few minutes? What doesn't catch my attention? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? And how can I change what I'm doing to incorporate some of that? I think we have to take a look at what others are. I hate the term influencers. And people kind of don't, it's gotten a negative term, right? There are a lot of good influencers out there, and there's a lot of weird ones too. I get it. But they have millions of followers for a reason. They're doing something that caused the millions of people to follow them. So what's that? Is there a magic sauce? I come back to personality, as that magic thing that's going to catch their attention.
I love personality, and I also want to jump on your coat a little bit longer. I'm sure I'm botching a phrase there, coat heels, but I want to jump on your community word one more time, because that's the dialogue, community. Like if I post something about somebody, maybe they're doing archery for the Junior Olympics, my neighbor or something like that. Like, hey, now that person is going to follow you. And the one challenge that I have with all social platforms right now is the reason that I want to follow somebody on any social platform is I want to know more about that person. And just this morning I was on YouTube Shorts. I have subscribed to so many different channels, and I don't get one of those people. I don't get one of those which is odd. And I know they're on YouTube Shorts and another platform, LinkedIn. How many times have you gone on LinkedIn and you're like, oh, you go through a couple of ads and then you see, oh, wait, my friend Aaliyah, I know she posts like once a week, but I'm getting a 3-week or 4-week old post. So now I have to dig into her post, but it's, and it's like, oh, hey, there she is. Okay. And I want to engage with friends and coworkers and stuff like that, but it's really tough. But I think back to your original question is what's going to drive and engage people? It's about them. So anything that you can highlight in your community, that's going to boost because you're saying, hey, Joan over here, her son is doing this and she just, or something, that is going to be, you're uplifting the community. And that's going to get the follow. That's going to be the like. That's going to be the comments. That's going to allow your part-timer to dig in and, hey, we are so happy and so thrilled that John made it to the Junior Olympics for archery or something like that. We want, as small businesses, we want to support that conversation. And community is the starting point. I want, like for every retailer that is listening to this, I want everybody to go into some small town and ask, hey, what's going on in this town? And I want to hear, oh, it's Bill's Western Wear. You got to check out their Facebook. That's the key, like being the arbiter or the collector or the curator of what's going on. That's the key. And that builds relationships. I will also point at all you business owners. Sorry, I know we're not supposed to be pointing, but those business owners and managers, I know we're doing our bookkeeping, we're doing our marketing, we're taking care of all our customers, but you got to go out into the community. You got to shake hands. You got to meet people. You got to be there. And another thing that I'm saying here is like you don't need to necessarily sponsor anything like a high school rodeo or something. That's great if you want to sponsor it, but being a support on engaging your community online and pushing them, that might be more powerful than doing a $500 sponsor banner in the rodeo ring. And then people will start to notice that, oh, wait, hey, Bill I'm using Bill too much, so I might have to change here. But the idea is you are now for your township. Everybody's going to start coming to you. So, and just to give you a little personal detail, I was born an introvert. What you're looking at right now is a born introvert. And I realized a long time ago that I needed to be outwardly extrovert. And if I was going to own a business, I needed to break out of my shell. And so I'm an introvert that now is an extrovert. So going out into the public, shaking hands and talking to people, it gets easier. I guarantee you it gets easier as you go into and just ask questions. What do you need? Like maybe you go to the barber shop next door to you and say, hey, what do you need? Well, of course, they're going to say more foot traffic and all this stuff. But what's it going to hurt by you asking that question and saying, wow, I think I can figure this out. And it's a simple thing of connection. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's what, again. So a lot of people worry about, and I know that this is your job, so this is a tough question. A lot of people worry about it has to be a polished thing. And, obviously we can make it more polished now because frickin' iPhones are better than any cameras we grew up with, right? I mean, and video is better than anything we ever grew up with. And I don't think it has to be super polished when you start. Yeah, there are times for polished where you're going to hire somebody to do polished, right? Mm-hmm. And this might be the video that's on your website highlighting your brand new product. That's a super, high energy video with music and the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a time for that. But when you're doing your social media stuff, that hometown stuff, that community building stuff, your iPhone, right? And your employee that's behind the counter can hold it for you. Put it on a tripod. These influencers that have millions of followers now, all started with their iPhones. They didn't have anybody helping them. They may now because they can afford it now, but they didn't when they first started. I had it when we first started. I literally bought $29 mics off of at Radio Shack. That's how long ago I started podcasting.
I remember Radio Shack.
That's what we could afford, right? And that's what we did. And and then I moved up. This is now a $99 mic. I still don't have the most expensive mic in the world, and I've hosted 5,500 episodes. But you know what? It's good enough.
Yeah.
And I think that as long as your personality's coming across and you're building, that's what's going to help build that community. We're just talking about this whole time. And I think that's what's going to make you the one who survives in this marketplace and when others haven't or won't in the next 5 years. Things are changing, and we really do have to build. If you have a community around you that likes you and is hanging around because of you, and I mean you, your store, the people that work at your store, you as a collective, you'll be here. If you don't, if you just try and keep doing things the way you've been doing them, I don't think you will in 5 years. I think we all have to adapt all the time, and we have to adapt quicker now. I do believe that.
Yeah.
Things are happening quicker.
Yeah, and your point is spot on. Do what you can with what you have. Bingo. If you have a phone, do it. And you're going to get better. I guarantee you. And I'll tell you, the first couple of times I did that on my phone, I probably deleted 20 takes.
Yep.
And you're sweating profusesí.
The first episodes of a podcast are always the worst. They're terrible.
Well, this is my first one. I'm sweating profusely. So
I actually took a risk, and we've done almost 4,000 episodes of Horses in the Morning now. And I did a risk of playing episode 1, replaying episode 1 for the audience, because none of these people have heard that 16-year-old episode. And it was so funny because they all loved it because it sounded retro.
Yeah.
Now retro's big now, so it sounded
totally.
retro. It sounded like bad AM radio is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
But You know what? It made a lot of people went, "Wow, that's so cool," because it sounded old. It really did.
Yeah. One thing that I'm sure your viewers have heard of before is make sure when you're filming with your phone, make sure that the sunlight you're looking at it or somewhere like my light is right here, so my camera might be right here, so at least I get a profile shot. That's the best you can do, and then you can start moving into better audio and so forth. But yeah.
It is, you'll figure it out in no time, and you can actually get AI to help you with this one. But
yes,
you can figure it out with no time how to upload to the various services. They make it so easy. It's not, and again, you can get AI to help you with that. Just ask them, how do I upload, and what do I do that's the best, and you'll get an answer right away. When do they hire you, the professional?
Oh, yeah, it's more of probably more about. I would say a retailer or a manufacturer might hire me for that. You mentioned it earlier, which is that all-encompassing above the fold, if I'm talking newspaper now, above the fold video. It's an about us video.
Top
or
of the
maybe
homepage.
It's on the homepage. And the other piece of the puzzle is I do so many documentaries that I'm also very good at wrangling testimonies. So if you have like 2 or 3 clients that have been with you for, 5 or 10 years buying goods from you, we could sit down and talk. And it's not just me. You could hire anybody in your town. I highly recommend finding somebody in your town because you want to support local. That's the idea. And they're going to get better too. And there's a couple of crutches that you could also use. Like, let's say, Glenn, you have your horse, whatever store, and you say, well, I don't know how good I'm going to be on camera because I don't remember things. I would say, no problem. I have a teleprompter. And we can walk through this. We'll get you comfortable and we'll pat you down because we're going to be sweating. Everybody sweats, so it happens. But the idea is, how can I make you comfortable on camera? Even if you say you don't want to, I might say, okay, well, how about instead of you not being on camera, how about let's have your customers talk about why your store is such a value and to the whole town. So those are a couple of different options for that, moving to the next level on video. But again, you can do, like retailers can do this, everything we talked about on the retail end, manufacturers, you just have one more tier. So manufacturers, you're boosting your retailers. You're treating your customers like the retailers are treating their customers. And that is the gold. How can I support all my retailers? How can I, maybe you might, as a manufacturer, maybe one of your retailers saying, hey, we're doing a fair or a parade or something. And, we need X, Y, or Z, and it's not talking about a lot of money or anything, but, hey, could we do this? Could Stetson come in and take an opportunity there? I'm sure those conversations are already happening, but that's another way that manufacturers can help at the ground level, where the retailers are really looking to help their customers and their community.
Where can people find you?
Yes. I'm at truthful.studio. Now, a lot of people will put .com on the end of that, but www.truthful.studio. And I'm excited to be here, and I am for the small business. I want them to thrive. And again, there's no commission here. I'm just happy to give as many nuggets to your audience as possible. And definitely, 2 more things. Check out Jeff Henderson's book, Know Who You Are For. And then another one, you might, as a retailer, you might want to consider, and this could go to the manufacturers as well. There's a really good book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And it is a fabulous book that you can read with your workers and figure out how to be really good customer service oriented company, and in the shops and in the manufacturer world too. And it's just a beautiful book.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, Chris. Thank you for listening in today to WESA's Retail Roundup. To watch Retail Roundups, check out the WESA Trade Show YouTube channel and stay up to date on the Facebook group. Just search for Retail Roundup. New wisdom by WESA. We're here with a new episode every Thursday, every other week, and actually my wife co-hosts an episode that's the other weeks. So definitely check us out. Subscribe to Wisdom by WESA on your podcast player, any podcast player that will work. Thank you all. Thank you, Chris. Talk to you soon.
My pleasure.